to the Beyond the Business podcast with your host, Corey Bauman.
When I thought about who to have on first, you were the first person that came to my mind.
Thank you.
So many reasons. You've been a pillar in the Master Networks community since we started our first chapter there in Bluebell. And I think, Jeff, just from our friendship and learning how well you were able to kind of transition from the corporate life of how many years.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know how many years it was, so I'll let you kind of introduce yourself, but how many years in the corporate setting, and be able to have enough guts to jump out of that and start your own business, and then, not only just start the business, but make sure that it's successful. And then, truly in a later spot in your life to be able to pursue your passion like that. I really respect that. And I've enjoyed getting to know you and seeing that kind of transition and what you've made of that. So Jeff, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, your business, kind of how, we want to talk about that transition, but just tell us a little bit about who Jeff is.
Well, first of all, thank you, Corey, for choosing me to be the first one from Bluebell. As you all listening know, that Corey started the Bluebell chapter, and he's now the COO of the company, plus he's the partner here in Southeast Pennsylvania. So thank you, partner, for bringing me in as the first live guest. I'm trying to think that the starting point for me, leading corporate after almost 40 years in corporate America, and the whole idea of the structure and the umbrella, they paid for a lot of things, all the benefits are covered, and all the 401k, and the profit sharing, and I had the seniority, so I had all the all the candy cake stuff that they give you, all the umbrella effect. I never had my own cell phone bill. I never had a car bill. I never paid for gas. The normal stuff that corporate guys get that I got. And then leaving that, decided to take that leap from this standard not self-fulfillment, but standard, I want to say, this environment that they control a lot of things. So creativity is kind of like not what you want it to be, and the ingenuity and innovation is less than it can be. Your ability to spread your wings and try something new is kind of like restricted. So I decided, that leap was probably time, maybe a little overdue, and took the leap to go from corporate to my own thing. And I started the Coaching Maverick back in 2014. And literally the day that I started, my first client called me on the phone and asked me what was my rate. and I said, let me call you back. I got on Google and looked at, what the rate for consultant, for general, whatever. I called him back and I gave him what the rate was. He said, "Oh, I'll pay it." I'm like, darn it, too low. But you learn, you learn. In fact, today, literally, I got a new client in Chicago, and I invoiced him last night about midnight. I do a lot of my work at midnight, between midnight and 2, 1 or 2 or 3 a.m. I'm a night person. So I'm invoicing him last night about midnight, at 12:30 last night or this morning. I wake up this morning. I went to a little session I had at the St. Joe's University, a church group thing. I get back to my office here at home. I open my email, and he's already paid me through PayPal. I'm like, this is fantastic. You get an invoice, 6 hours later you get paid. And that doesn't happen too often, obviously, but But back to my transition, the idea that to leave the control and the security and the shortness of every 2 weeks you get a paycheck, and it's a very nice paycheck. Leaving all that for this uncertainty, and you jump out of a plane and you build a parachute on the way down. You've heard that before,
Yep.
But doing all that, this is absolutely, the last 4 years, almost now 5, have been, I want to say, thrilling and scary at the same time. It's absolutely, Corey, been thrilling and uplifting, and I'm getting totally into it and passionate about what I do as far as training and leadership and coaching. But it's also, there's no guaranteed pay every 2 weeks, and there's no 401k that they put half the money in, and no one pays for my credit card anymore. No one pays for for my cell phone anymore. But you find a way, at least if you're passionate, you have a wife like mine who's also my partner, if you're passionate and you really love what you do, you'll find a way to make those things happen. And it kind of it emboldens you to want to do more. And it kind of gets you going as far as, the idea of the empowerment. I empower myself every day to move forward. I'm always moving forward, Corey. I'm never looking back. I'm never regretting what I should have done, could have done. I'm like always moving forward. And that idea is frightful, scary, but it's also exhilarating. It pumps me up every day. It gets me going. It's why I do what I do. I should have done this 20 years ago, but maybe not. But yeah. I wouldn't have this much patience 20 years ago. But I think that, that anybody running a business today or getting into entrepreneurial, that world of entrepreneurial spirit has to have, the sense of, the fear factor as well as, the thrilling, enthusiastic, passionate factor as well combined to make a success of this thing. I've been very blessed in a lot of ways, Corey. My mom just passed away, as you know. She raised me to believe I can do it. Whatever I want to do, just work hard at it and get it done, son, you'll do it. And so I take that lesson she taught me way back when, to really love what I do and find a way to do it the best I can. And I think that I'm doing that now. And I also joined another company. I have a partner that I learned through I got through Master Networks, Paul Catagnis, and we have a business together called the TV Truck. So I've expanded from my coaching, teaching business to now this other advertising marketing business. And that's happened over the last year and a half. So I'm expanding in more ways. It's more insanity, more insecurity, but more fun. Tied to all that insecurity and insanity. That answer your question about transition?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's exactly what I was looking for. A couple things that you said I think about often, and that's the one thing is that we have this written in our house. We have one of those like pegboards with you put the letters on it, and my wife changes it around with some motivational stuff. And what's on it right now is just be better today than you were yesterday.
I love that.
Like you say, continue to move forward. A lot of people they try and make these huge jumps and in a week. And while you can do that, I think it's important just to know that you're getting better every single day and you're always moving forward, because there is no such thing as caught in the middle. You're either growing or you're dying. I mean,
right.
Truly, that's the case, right?
Right.
So that's a huge, the fact that, people aren't paying your cell phone bill, they aren't paying your bills anymore. You have to have that mindset that, if you're getting up at, 10 o'clock in the morning and you're trucking into the office and then you're leaving at, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like, is that somebody that if you were your own employee, would you hire yourself or would you keep yourself?
No. Right.
You have to hold yourself accountable.
Right.
And you have to look at yourself as your own employee. And so it's great stuff. It's a huge leap to make. We have so many folks in Master Networks that Jeff, there's some people that have just started businesses, which I love our platform for that, because there's so much training and support of experienced folks like yourself that help them.
Right.
And then you have folks like yourself who are really experienced in the business world, even though you've only been an entrepreneur technically for, you have a lot of experience. And so you can share that. That's what I love about our groups. They're so, diverse in that way. The cool thing that I love about you too is that, there's sometimes with these fast-paced lives we have in our businesses, I feel like you're having conversations with people and you're not necessarily present. With you, I always feel like no matter what it is, Jeff, like when we're on the phone or when we're in person, like it's you and I, and we're present with each other, and we're really trying to understand how we can help each other. And I think that's what makes a really good bond in business partners.
I agree.
I see you as a partner in business, and like, you're always somebody that no matter what it is, I feel like I can call and I can count on to help out with something or just to bounce something off of. And so I truly cherish that. And, my mission is that everybody has those types of relationships within our region, the members, right? That they're building those types of relationships.
Yeah, I think that you made a point there that's a very good one. And my session this morning, when the Monsignor mentioned this morning in a session, I'm not Catholic, by the way, but I was surrounded by all Catholic people this morning. I'm a Methodist, United Methodist. But he mentioned the idea of emptying yourself, and serving others. He mentioned the idea of not about me, it's about people I'm going to serve. it's in the last session we had, the last workshop, in our bond meeting on Wednesday, we talked about traditional versus relational. And that just struck a chord with me so immense, incredible, because it's true. Transactional is it's okay, it's temporary, it's a one-shot kind of thing, but the relational, that's where you build a relationship, and that's where it's a long-term environment. And I'm serving my client, I'm serving other people, and if I can serve them, get what they want, then I get what I want. If you find a way to get people what they want, then you get what you want. And that's a Zig Ziglar thing from way back when. But you think about the idea of helping other people get what they want, and the essence of what that means. That really talks to, it's not about me, it's about my client or my customer or my fellow member at Master Networks. It's about what can I do to help them grow their business? How can I help them see the vision for their future, their business? How can I help them design maybe what that vision should be? How can I help them walk through the mechanics of getting down in the grassroots of how do they grow the business? How do they maintain what they've done? And I think I can help do that. But the value of my doing that, then I get paid 2 or 3-fold. That's a great thing about doing that. So I think you're right. The transactional versus the relational, or even better put, the idea of serving other people is really what we all want to do more of, hopefully. And I think that's inbred in all of the, at least in Bluebell, in our chapter. And we kind of got this group of people. They've been 14 or 15 of us, and it's really a cohesive working machine. But we care about each other, and we're very discerning or discriminating when it comes to who can we let into the group. It's going to help us expand our thought process, expand what we do, but also coming to share what you share in our special culture. Culture is a huge deal for us.
Huge. It's honestly, I say this all the time, we talk about this, but it's essential. In fact, the groups don't work if you're not coming from that kind of contribution mindset,
right?
Just because that's the built. And in fact, I stress it so much that when you're launching a group or when you're growing your group, if you do that at such a high level, you don't have to worry about attracting the wrong people.
Right.
Because if the wrong person enters your chapter and visits, they don't feel comfortable. Because they come from a place of, hey, how much do I have to pay each month to know what I'm going to get from it? Like that's not the mindset.
That's a good point.
And that's okay. People have that mindset. And as Master Networks as a whole, if you think about it, we're kind of flipping the mindset, the old mindset of business networking on its head, where people pay a fee and they expect to get, and that's just not what we're trying to create. But we feel like if we do it this way, we create a community and a movement of Master Networks that folks, they need to be part of what we're doing because they know it's essential to help them grow personally, their business. They have somebody to lean on, somebody to just whatever they, maybe it's not business, it's personal, but they have a support network around them, and that's how you build that. Just what you said.
No, I agree. I was last night. I was with another potential client / advisor person. He's 33 years old. I have a son, 44. He's 33. And we talked about, BNI and stuff. And I mentioned, I invited him to one of our meetings. He didn't show up this past week. He's going to probably come next week. But he said, Jeff, why is it so different? Why is Master Network such a different experience? What makes it different than all the other networking groups? And I said, the difference is that we care about each other, and we also grow each other. And we're responsible for growing each other. And it's an educational experience as well as a social experience as well as a networking experience. But the networking is more organic. It's not like a mandatory, you must, every week, whatever. Yep. It's more organic. And only when I trust the person do I then refer one of my clients or my friend or whatever to that person that I trust. I said, it's built on trust. And he nodded. He said, that makes a lot of sense. I said, it's not based on a ratio number which you have to do per week or per month, whatever. It's built on an organic referral system built on trust. But that's not even the reason I go every Wednesday. I go because I feel fulfilled as far as the obligation to improve myself. Like self-improvement in my business, in myself, in my own personal improvement happens each one hour per Wednesday, every Wednesday. And I can depend on those other 13, 14 people to energize me, believe it or not, so that the rest of the week is like totally amped up based on what they've given me, based on what I've given them, and the exchange of ideas, the exchange of experiences, the exchange of what we need to grow our individual businesses and to grow our chapter. It's not hard to explain how we're different, but it's hard to experience how we're different without being there. You know, and once they come into the meeting and they see, we have 3 guests this past week. You made a note about that. And when each one of the guests, when they left, they were like, "Whoa, I had no idea. I didn't expect this." I'm like, "Well, that's good. Come back." You know, but right. But and then Joanne did her thing and went up to each one of them individually and gave them, you know, the right forms. But I guess my point is that at the end of the meeting, after 60 minutes, they were energized, they were informed, they were on a different level than when they walked in. And they were like, "Wow, I think I now know what this is." And we're like, "Well, I told you, but you got to experience it, you know." And it's not just about networking per se. That's like an offshoot. The main reason I'm there is education, mentoring, self-development. Like, it is so key, Corey, as you well know, to develop self, then help develop others. But first develop self. So
I mean, so much good stuff there. I don't even want to reiterate anything that you said, other than the fact that, you know, we don't pass leads, we pass referrals, right? Like that's the goal of our groups. And that's why, you know, when you hear us say, you know, run your meeting by the Master Networks model, it's because we know that we're creating an experience for somebody to join. And if they're not running a meeting that doesn't look like a Master Networks meeting, then that person doesn't even know what they're getting. So that's why it's so important that when they get that experience, you know. So listen, let's switch gears for a second here, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
okay.
I know that we're trying to do it last year, and then you traveled to Europe. We were trying to get you to come to Connect and do a breakout session. For anybody that's watching this that doesn't know what Connect is, so Connect is Master Network's annual convention every year. It's April 26th and 27th this year. It's in Plano, Texas. We have hotel rooms blocked. So VIP tickets are actually sold out right now, and we are about 60% sold on preferred. And Jeff is going to be one of our breakouts. So we have 18 breakout speakers and 4 keynote speakers this year. We're going to be doing a special session with another keynote. So it's just going to be an awesome event. I know, Jeff, you're excited to be there.
Very excited.
We're excited to have you. For all the Pennsylvania people out there, got to get to Connect. Let's support Jeff. I mean, he's going to deliver an amazing breakout, and you're going to learn a ton. But you're also going to get a chance to connect with other business owners around the country. We're expecting to sell it out at 500, 550. So that's not a small event. That's a bigger event every year. We double it. But Jeff, I'm excited to have you with us this year.
I'm excited to be there,
and it's going to be cool to see you present.
No, I'm very excited to do this, Corey, to head this workshop, to do one of the breakout groups. Really blessed and excited to do that. And I think that anybody listening to this broadcast, it's the Connect experience is, if you take the Master Networks experience weekly, 1 hour a week, Connect kind of takes it and just puts it on steroids. Connect makes it's an enthusiastic, inspiring. When you leave the session, while you're there, you're going to be inspired. You're going to get things. You're going to improve yourself, your business. But most of all, I think for me, it just raises the level of inspiration as far as life expectancy and life. You know, the experiences in life. It's a very exciting 2 days. And I'm sorry I missed it last week. I'm definitely going to be there. Obviously, I'm one of the workshop or one of the breakout speakers. But if you're listening to this broadcast, please plan on your calendar to attend. This is a must-attend session. It's going to be, you know, lights out, the best we've had thus far.
Jeff, any last words?
Please show up to Connect. And if you're looking for a networking group or a group that enriches your experience and also a group that teaches every single week, 1 hour a week, you got to join Master Networks. come be a part of it. Call me directly. My number, Corey will give you whatever. You can call me. Just get to the meeting. That's it, brother.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeff.
you. Have a great weekend. Thank you.